Okay, friends, I am going to try and at least get through our subtracting of decimals that you were supposed to do for homework last night before my next Zoom meeting starts. So first thing you had to do was estimate. And 13 and 54 hundredths is closer to 14 than it is to 13 because of that 5. And then we're subtracting 6 and 7 tenths is closer to 7 than it is to 6. So I'm looking for something. My answer is going to be about 7. I'm going to put my decimal. I'm going to work on the brightness of this. That didn't really help. And then I'm ready to subtract. I'm going to put my 0. My decimal's already there. 4 minus 0 is 4. 5 minus 7 I can't do, so I go next door. This 3 becomes a 2. This 5 becomes a 15. 15 minus 7 is 8. 2 minus 6 I can't do, so I go next door and borrow. My 1 becomes a 0, and my 2 becomes a 12. Now I can subtract. 12 minus 6 is 6. 0 minus nothing is 0. So 6 and 84 hundredths is a reasonable answer because it's almost 7. On number 4, we're going to subtract, and then what we didn't do in class was checking our answer. So we're going to go through and check our answer. Let me show you how we did it on this one. To check your answer, you're going to check like doing it upside down. You're going to take this plus this should equal this. So on yesterday's classwork, 14 and 55 hundredths plus 1 and 5, but we changed it to 50 hundredths. And we're going to add those together. My decimal, 5 plus 0 is 5. 5 plus 5 is 10. Put down my 0, carry my 1. 1 plus 4 is 5, plus 1 is 6. 1 plus nothing is 1. So 16 and 5 hundredths matches what I started with on my problem. So I'm going to do the same thing on this one. I just wanted to give you some reference there since I didn't do it yesterday. So I'm going to put my 0. I'm going to subtract. 0 minus 7 I can't do, so I'm going to go next door. My 4 becomes a 3, and my 0 becomes a 10. 10 minus 7 is 3. 3 minus 9 I can't do, so I'm going to go next door. My 1 becomes a 0. My 3 becomes 13. 13 minus 9 is 4. Put my decimal. 0 minus 6 I can't do, so I'm going to go next door. My 2 becomes a 1. This 0 becomes a 10. 10 minus 6 is 4. 1 minus 1 is 0. So 4 and 43 hundredths is the answer I came up with. But I am going to check it now. And like I said, we're going to start at the bottom and add to come up with what we had at the top. I'm going to start with my answer, 4 and 43 hundredths. I'm going to add 16 and 97 hundredths. Put my decimal in my answer. And then I'm going to add 3 plus 7 is 10. Put down my 0, carry my 1. 1 plus 4 is 5. 5 plus 9 is 14. Put down my 4, carry my 1. 1 plus 4 is 5. 5 plus 6 is 11. Put down my 1, carry my 1. 1 plus nothing is 1, plus 1 is 2. So 21 and 40 hundredths is the same thing as we started up here. We started with 21 and 4 tenths, which we know is the same. So I can confidently say that 4 and 43 hundredths is my answer. My color's going weirdly green, but it's the only way I can share the camera in real time. So on this one, if we look at it as like a strip diagram, and we know that n is what we don't know, but then the bottom part, we know one part of it is 8 and 12 hundredths, and the other one is 11 and 52 hundredths. This is what we don't know. So we need to add them together to find out what the answer is. I'm hoping that helps a little bit, understanding why we're adding on a subtraction paper. So we're putting our decimal. We're going to add 2 plus 2 is 4. 1 plus 5 is 6. 1 plus 8 is 9. Nothing plus 1 is 1. So 19 and 64 hundredths is my answer. Now I can still check it in a way. I can just work it upside down and subtract this time. I can say 19 and 64 hundredths, and I can subtract the 11 and 52 hundredths. And 4 minus 2, decimal, 4 minus 2 is 2, 6 minus 5 is 1, 9 minus 1 is 8, 1 minus nothing is 0. So I get 8 and 12 hundredths, which is what I started with. So I feel confident that my answer was 1964, 19 and 64 hundredths. Okay. Number 8, we're just finding the difference. We're going to write it vertically so we can line up our decimal point. So 69 and 32 hundredths, subtract 32 and 46 hundredths, put my decimal, and I'm going to subtract. 2 minus 6 I can't do, so I'm going to go next door and borrow. My 3 becomes a 2, and my 2 becomes a 12. 12 minus 6 is 6. 2 minus 4 I can't do, so I'm going to go next door. My 9 becomes 8. My 2 becomes a 12. 12 minus 4 is 8. And 8 minus 2 is 6. 6 minus 3 is 3. So 36 and 86 hundredths is my answer. Now to check it, I'm going to add this, and come up with that. I'm going to start at the bottom. 36 and 86 hundredths plus 32 and 46 hundredths. And I'm going to add 6 plus 6 is 12. Put down my 2, decimal, carry my 1. 8 plus 1 is 9, plus 4 is 13. Put down my 3, carry my 1. 1 plus 6 is 7, plus 2 is 9. 3 plus 3 is 6. So 6932, 6932. So our answer that I feel confident, we checked it, our answer is 36 and 86 hundredths when we did our subtraction problem. Now, Sandra ran 63.6 kilometers. So we know that number. We know that she ran, don't know why I made it so long, but she ran 63, promised I wasn't gonna make any mistakes and I messed up, 63 and 6/10. So this is Sandra. And it says that Philip ran 8 kilometers less than Sandra, and we want to know how much he ran. So if this is all Sandra, and we know that 8 kilometers, we know the 8, but he ran 8 plus something. Something is what's missing to add up to Sandra. So it's a subtraction problem. So we're going to say 63.6 for Sandra minus the 8 kilometers, which is the difference between their two distances. I'm lining up my decimal. That's the important thing. I'm going to put my decimal. 6 minus 0 is 6. 3 minus 8 I can't do, so I'm going to go next door. My 6 becomes a 5. 3 becomes a 13. 13 minus 8 is 5. 5 minus nothing is 5. So Philip ran 55 and 6/10 kilometers. I'm going to abbreviate that. Okay. Sorry it's so blue, but you can see it. You can go back and watch it as many times as you need to see if it makes sense. Rest assured, I made less mistakes than I did in real class. So I love you, and I hope that this helps you. Bye-bye.